Ryan Poles just made a move that has everyone in Chicago talking, and it is not about the flashy first-round picks we expected. We all felt that desperate need for a defensive line anchor. And while the national media is busy grading our draft as a polarized mess, there is a hidden gem that could change everything for our defense. This is about more than just a depth chart move. It is a statement about the future of our trenches. Stick around because this specific pick is already turning heads at Halas Hall. Jordan van den Berg is the name you need to remember as we head into the new season, because the front office is absolutely buzzing about what he brings to the table. Our general manager, Ryan Poles, did something very unusual during the 2026 NFL Draft that should tell you everything you need to know about his faith in this kid. Usually, Poles is the master of trading back and accumulating more picks to build through volume, but this time he saw something special and decided to trade up to the 213th pick to secure this Georgia Tech defensive tackle. It was only the third time in 5 years that Poles has ever traded up for a prospect, which is a massive signal of intent. The draft started with a home run selection in Dylan Thieneman, but the real intrigue began when the team ignored the defensive line until the 6th round. Many fans were worried, including myself, because the interior of that line has been such a question mark lately. This is where Gervon Dexter Sr. enters the conversation, as he is the man currently holding down that starting spot. Dexter was a high second-round pick back in 2023, and the expectations for him have been sky-high since the day he arrived in Chicago. While he showed some flashes of brilliance and recorded a career-high 6.5 sacks last season, his consistency has been a major point of contention for the coaching staff. His advanced metrics, like his PFF grade, show a player who is still struggling to become that dominant game wrecker we truly need in the middle of our defense. By bringing in a player like this rookie, Ryan Poles is essentially putting the entire room on notice. It is a bold strategy because it places a lot of pressure on a 6th-round selection to provide real competition, but the internal belief is that they found a diamond in the rough. This situation is the perfect example of how a late-round move can suddenly create a high-stakes battle that will define the identity of our defense for the next several years as we chase a championship. Looking closely at what makes this new addition so special, it starts with a personality that sounds like it was tailor-made for the city of Chicago. His college coach at Georgia Tech described him as the most polite person you will ever meet off the field, but the second he steps onto the grass, he transforms into a completely different animal. The quote that is already becoming legendary among the scouts is that he will absolutely snatch your soul out of you. That is the kind of blue-collar, aggressive mentality that Bears fans have loved since the days of the monsters of the Midway. This young man plays with a relentless motor and a level of violence at the point of attack that caught the eye of the entire scouting department. Even though he was a 6th-round pick, the front office does not view him as a typical long-shot project. Reports from inside the building suggest that the team has plans for him that go far beyond just being a backup or a practice squad body. They see a player who can immediately challenge the veterans and provide a spark that was missing during long stretches of last season. When you watch his film, you see a player who does not just occupy space. He penetrates the backfield and disrupts the timing of the offense. This is exactly what the modern NFL requires from the interior defensive line. It is not just about being big and strong anymore. It is about having the quickness to collapse the pocket and the nastiness to win the individual battles in the dirt. The fact that the organization was willing to give up assets to move up and get him suggests they believe his talent level far exceeds his draft position. While 6th-rounders rarely pan out to be stars, there is a growing feeling that we might have found the ultimate steal of the entire 2026 class. This isn't about hope. It's about a specific vision for a defense that needs to be more physical and more disruptive. The rookie has a long way to go, but his arrival has already changed the energy in the defensive line room and forced everyone to raise their game. The real consequence of this move falls squarely on the shoulders of the established starter, and the stakes could not be any higher for his career in Chicago. We have to be honest about where things stand with the current rotation. While there is plenty of talent, the results on the field have not always matched the investment made in the draft. If the rookie comes in and shows that he can be more consistent and more disruptive than the guys in front of him, it completely changes the math for the front office. For a player like the veteran starter, this season was already supposed to be his big breakout year, where he earns a massive contract extension. He has the size and the raw tools to be a star, but the NFL is a production-based business, and if you are not getting the job done, the team will find someone who can. The most direct impact of this competition is that it removes any sense of comfort or job security. If this young challenger starts taking away meaningful reps in the preseason, it could signal the beginning of the end for the current hierarchy. We could see a situation where a former second-round pick is suddenly fighting just to keep his starting job against a guy who was picked over 100 spots later. That is a nightmare scenario for any high-drafted player, but it is exactly the kind of environment that elite teams try to create. It forces everyone to play with a sense of urgency that you just cannot replicate without a real threat behind you. This could help the team win more games because the interior pressure will be more constant, regardless of who is on the field. If the starter responds well to the pressure, he might finally become the game wrecker we have all been waiting for. But if he falters, the coaching staff will not hesitate to give the hungry newcomer a chance to prove himself. The ripple effect of this battle will be felt across the entire defense, as a stronger interior rush makes life easier for the linebackers and the secondary, potentially turning a good unit into a great one for years to come. We are looking at two very different paths for this Chicago defense, and both paths lead back to how this battle in the trenches unfolds. In the best-case scenario, the pressure from the rookie pushes the starter to reach his full potential. Imagine a world where both of these players are playing at an elite level, rotating in and out to stay fresh, while constantly harassing opposing quarterbacks. That would give us one of the most feared interior duos in the entire league and provide the backbone for a deep playoff run. It would mean that Ryan Poles hit the jackpot twice, once with a high pick and once with a late-round steal. The energy at Soldier Field would be electric as our defense returns to its dominant roots, making every Sunday a nightmare for our rivals in the NFC North. But there is a much darker path that we have to consider as well. If the veteran starter continues to struggle with his consistency, and the rookie proves to be just another late-round flyer who cannot handle the jump to the professional level, our biggest weakness remains unaddressed. This would leave a gaping hole in the middle of our defense that every savvy offensive coordinator in the league will look to exploit. We would be back at square one, forced to watch our defense get pushed around at the line of scrimmage, while we wonder why more wasn't done to fix the problem during the offseason. The tension is palpable, because there is no middle ground here. Moves like this either look like a stroke of genius that builds a dynasty or a desperate gamble that fails to move the needle. We have seen this story play out before in Chicago history, where a lack of interior pressure sabotaged otherwise elite rosters. The margin for error is razor thin, and the coaching staff knows that their jobs could depend on getting this right. Every practice rep and every preseason snap will be scrutinized as we wait to see which scenario becomes our reality. The stakes are far higher than just a training camp battle. They are about the soul and the success of the Chicago Bears. At the end of the day, the Chicago Bears have created a fascinating situation that could define their entire season. Ryan Poles took a massive risk by waiting so long to address the defensive line, but his decision to trade up for a specific personality like this shows a clear and calculated plan. We are witnessing a classic battle between an established high-draft pick who needs to prove his worth and a hungry underdog who is ready to snatch everything away. It is the kind of drama that makes football the greatest sport on earth, and it is happening right in our own backyard. I want to know what you think about this move. Do you believe a sixth-round rookie can truly push a starter for his job, or is this just training camp hype that will fade away once the real games start? Be honest, would you trust a rookie in this high-stakes situation if the veteran continues to struggle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I read every single one of them. Also, if you love the Bears as much as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel now.